Hello, welcome to Pushing Cardboard. This is Shelfie number 5, I think. Shelfie number 4, number 5, somewhere in there. I guess I'll find out when I go to post it. These Shelfie videos are where I take random 10 games from my collection and just generated from a random number generator, pull them out off the shelves, hold them up, and talk about them for 1 or 2 minutes. Just my quick thoughts about each one. What I liked about it, why I have it in my collection, or if it's on its way out of the collection, if I've actually played it, what I thought of it, that sort of thing. So, well, here we go. This is the first game up this week is Operation Martlet from Lone Canuck Publishing. This is a historical ASL game. So a third-party historical module from Lone Canuck. Lone Canuck, a small publisher. I think he's out of Vancouver or maybe Victoria, somewhere like that. Anyway, I have a bunch of his scenarios. I've got 3 or 4 of his HASL modules, historical modules like this one. And I've played 2 of them so far. I played his Hills Highway one, which was... I have to say we found a little bit unbalanced, but good news for us is there's a new version of it coming out with a slightly better map, and I'm hoping balance corrections. And right now I'm in the middle of playing Crossing the Morro, another one of his HASLs. The great thing about these HASLs from Lone Canuck is they are smaller, shorter. They're not as big as a Red Barricades or something like that, or a Camp Group Piper. So. Anyway, that's it. That's I look forward to playing this one. I've had good experiences with his other products, so no problem having a go at another one. Up next, now this is interesting. This is WTF 1940, The Breakthrough at Dinant. I got this as a swap. From a friend down in California, and this is a game from the now sort of dormant or defunct Battles magazine. But this is actually a wonderful magazine that every time I think about it, I'm so sad that it's no longer with us. It was, to my mind, the most well laid out and good looking magazine we had. It had excellent content. It was easy to read. Of course it was as a third party. It had no allegiance to any one publisher, so it was everything. They could have a look at it, whatever they wanted. I mean, it's one of the few wargaming magazines that looks like an actual magazine to me. It looks just great, and I'm so sad it's gone. So anyway, there was it's a little rule book for they always had a game included, so there's the rule book for the included game, and some counters, little half-inch counters, and this will be the included map. I'm not going to open all the games and look at them like this, but it was a great thing while it lasted. The fellow who published it, I can't remember his name, Oliver something I think, or Olivier, I can't remember, French guy I think they came from France. Anyway, he never really officially said Battles is over, that the magazine is done, kaput, finished. He just kind of quit publishing it, quit accepting orders and things like that, and went on to do some other things. I don't know if he's involved with video games now or Euro game. I don't know what he's involved. He's still involved in some kind of stuff from what I hear. But the fact that he never expressly said Battles is no more makes me live in hope that that little magazine will, not little magazine, that big magazine will live once more. Okay, well that was a couple of magazine style things, but Here's the first big box game that came on the list of 10 this week. This is Inferno from GMT. This is, I think this was number 3 in the Levy and Campaign series. So there was Nevsky and Almoravid before it, and I've played Nevsky. I've been playing Nevsky and really enjoying it now that it's on the Rally the Troops website. Almoravid I found a bit daunting, and I skipped over it and started playing Inferno, and I found Inferno quite a bit easier, and in some ways easier than even Nevsky, as there's less types of transport that you're constantly juggling in Inferno. It's a bit more wide open. Anyway, this is a great entry in the Levy and Campaign series. That series, they put out games faster than I can play them almost, but I guess perhaps they don't expect us to own every one. Maybe they're putting them out so fast and they just expect us to pick up the ones that really, really interest us. Anyway, Inferno, Guelphs and Ghibellines vie for Tuscany, 1259 to 1261. Well, you know, just based on the history there, I probably never would have picked this up. I know I have friends who picked it up explicitly because of history, because they're interested in that obscure bit of history, but I wouldn't have known what was going on. So I picked it up just because I'm interested in the Levy and Campaign games. I'm interested in where that series goes and how it works. So that's why that one's there. Up next, well, if you've watched my YouTube channel much, or if you've more to the point, if you've been a subscriber to my podcast, you've heard me talk about this game before. I have all 3 of the games in this series. This is Napoleon 1807. There's also 1806 and 1815. They're from Shakos, another French publisher. And I played this one recently down at San Diego HistCon last November, and I just fell in love with this game. This game is I guess it's point-to-point movement. It's blocks with the type of blocks that are only stickered on one side, so there's a bit of fog of war. It has this interesting thing where there's these other units called vedettes on the French side, which basically work like dummy units. Also cards. This is kind of a block game, card game crossover. And also your unit strengths are hidden from each other. I don't know if you can see in the back there. It shows like a stand-up screen where one player's unit strengths are behind it and the other player can't see it. Anyway, I totally recommend this series. I've only played this one. I look forward to playing the other ones, but it's totally fun, and there's something about the fact that there's a bit of bluffing and maneuver involved, which makes me feel like it's capturing a bit of Napoleonic warfare in a way that some Napoleonic games don't for me. I've been reading a lot of Napoleonic history lately, and it seems that he was always trying to make his opponents think he was somewhere, that the main thrust of his force was somewhere where it wasn't, and he was always trying to rely on surprise and things like that. And not every game takes that into account, but you got a chance to do that with this, fog of war and the block system, as well as those vedettes. Up next, Guns of Gettysburg by Bowen Simmons, originally Bowen Simmons. This I don't know that this is even available anymore. I think it was looks like she published it with Simmons Games and Mercury Games. I think it's kind of hard to get a copy of, but this is maybe my favorite Gettysburg game. People who are super into Gettysburg games, it might not be their favorite, because the thing that this game has that is really, really interesting is it's got sort of a variable unit entrance track. You don't know it starts with Buford and whoever he first meets there right at the beginning. You start with that, and then every other unit for both sides is along a track, and they're random chits. And sometimes you'll get nothing. Sometimes you'll get someone who some division that or brigade that showed up that day, and but they're not going to come in the same order that they came on the actual day. They're going to come in a slightly different order. They're going to come in on the same day, and there's a few rules to kind of get them coming somewhat historically, but not really. So it's more of a. It's like on that day, units could have come in a different order than they did. Some units were hurrying, some weren't. Not everybody knew the serious nature of what was starting to take shape just outside Gettysburg. So I love the randomness of the beginning of this game. And the other thing about that randomness is the victory conditions can shift a little bit if one side, I think if the Confederate starts to get their reinforcements much quicker than the Union player can kind of pull back the victory hexes a little bit, and so the victory conditions move a little bit along with the variable setup, which kind of, to my mind, ensures that the game stays has a chance of staying balanced. Anyway. Guns of Gettysburg, if you see a used copy or a copy on the shelf, I totally recommend it. It like all of Simmons' games, it has the little wooden sticks with the sticker along, or the painted edge along one side to let you know what the units are, and yeah, grab it. Okay, here's an oldie off the shelf. This is Hell's Highway from Victory Games. This is a John Butterfield game. And I bought this used a few years ago. I still haven't played it, and I'm not sure that I will, because John Butterfield is working on a complete reworking of the game. I think it's supposed to still be the same game, but I think I've read that he's changed quite a bit of it. I bought this used because I realized I'd missed a really great game, and when I found it, I found this copy for $20. Bought it sight unseen, and it wasn't until I bought it that the fellow told me, oh, the one thing was he'd laminated the map, and because it's old paper maps. Well, this laminating of the map, it I don't know. It makes for a really crappier map, to tell you the truth. It in no way lies, and that's only half the map. There's another. He laminated the other half as well. He cut the map in two so he could laminate it in two pieces. It's like, oh. Anyway, I look forward to the new version. This game also, another reason to look forward to the new version is, quite famously, this game has some of the most difficult to read counters in all of wargaming history. I don't know. It was just a special, a certain time in the history of printing war games, but they were leaving so. They had to leave so much room around the edges of each edge of the counter that it pushed everything. Can you see? There's a couple of counters there. Maybe, I don't know if you can. Can you see those there? There, no, there. Everything was pushed so far into the middle that it meant everything, and these are half-inch counters, and they're only using the middle sort of quarter-inch square, so the everything's totally pushed into the middle, and they're very difficult to read. The good thing is, if you do have a copy of this and you're into it, I think there's a couple of guys online that have made replacement counter sets that are bigger, brighter, and easier to read. So you don't have to wait for the new version from John Butterfield if you really like this particular old version. You can upgrade it, pimp it out a little bit. Up next, this is a real favorite. This is Wilderness War. Totally happy to see that this is now on Rally the Troops. You can play this asynchronously online with total rules enforcement. This is interesting. This was Volko Ruhnke's very first game, and it's a card-driven game. It's a point-to-point map. I know that when I first played it, I found it a little bit daunting. Not that the rules were daunting. It wasn't that at all. The rules were fairly straightforward, But what was daunting was, even given the victory conditions, I was the first time I played, it was like, what the hell am I supposed to do here? Like, what do I do? What do I do first? I remember I was playing the French, and do I just raid? Do I just react to what the British do? I didn't know, but that feeling goes away after a while. It's a fantastic game. It still stands up as one of the best card-driven games ever. I like this way more than lots of the more fiddly ones out there. This is I call it sort of medium complexity. It's not as straightforward, say, as Washington's War or something like that. There's more going on here than that. But great game if you can play it on Rally the Troops, or get yourself a copy. Support this game. Keep it in print forever, because this is a great game. Up next, Pax Premiere. This is 2nd edition. I never played the 1st edition. I think they changed the rules a bit. I'm not totally sure, because I don't. Like I said, I never played that 1st edition. This is Cole Worley. He's the designer of Root and several other games, but Pax Porfiriana or Pax Renaissance, those are Phil Eklund games, and they're terrific games, but I find Phil Eklund's designer's notes and whatnot just completely out to lunch. So it's I like this game because it's in the Pax series, but it's not a Phil Eklund game. This game has beautiful components. It's got big chunky pieces, beautiful cards, and I guess it's a fully mounted main board, map board. I seem to remember the old one maybe had like a canvas map or a cloth map or something. But anyway, this game might be available to play online as well. I don't know if it's a Rally the Troops or a Yakata, but I think it is out there available to play online. But I'd definitely recommend this game to anybody. It's 1 to 5 players. I don't know that I'd ever play it just me, and I don't know that I think it would be a good 2-player game, but I have played it 3 players, 4 players, no problem. It's an interesting game in that it's about Afghanistan, and but you're not playing. It's a period when there was all kinds of colonial crap happening there. The British, the Russians, I don't know, Ottomans, who knows? I can't remember who all's there. But in this game, you are playing the part of more of a local. I don't want to say tribal chieftain, because that sounds a bit like it might. It's more than that. But each player represents a certain cultural group in Afghanistan, and all the players are trying to play those colonial powers off one another. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to get the best deal for your people, and do better in foiling or getting stuff out of the colonizers than the other people. It's a great way to look at a colonial, an ugly colonial period. So anyway, that's Pax Premiere 2nd edition. Here's another one that I happen to be playing PPEM right now. This is This War Without an Enemy. This is Scott Moore. This is from Nuts Publishing, and this is on the English Civil War. This game is sort of similar to the Napoleon game we looked at earlier. This game has got a blocks and cards, so it's similar that way, and it's actually it's got an interesting history. The game was originally, as I understand it, pitched to Columbia Games, and it was going to be sort of a standard Columbia Games block game with the Fog of War. I don't know if it was going to be like the Hammer the Scots style with the ABCD as well, but it was definitely going to be with the unit strengths on the different sides of the block, where you turn it 1, 2, 3, whatever as you take hits, and stickers on one side of the block, and that was going to be it. And then I don't know how it happened, if Scott Moore was trying to put more into it, or something happened where it just somehow it was no longer a fit for Columbia, and they decided not to publish it for whatever reason, or Scott Moore pulled it from publishing. I don't know how it worked, but anyway, it was no longer going to be published by Columbia, and that allowed Scott Moore to not feel like he was constrained by the Columbia system. He didn't have to do it exactly like the other Columbia games. It didn't have to fit exactly in a Columbia box. He could have more or less blocks if he wanted to. You could have more pages in the rule book if you wanted, and he could have a good proper deck of cards. Columbia games are not known for great cards in lots of their games, especially those Hammer the Scott style ones. Anyway, that freed him to make it into sort of this block game, card game hybrid, which it is now, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm only part way through my first scenario of it. We're playing it online using the Vassal module. It's going great, and I totally recommend it. It's also really gorgeous. I don't know if you see a peek of the blocks standing upright, so you can't see the blocks, but you see them on the map. It's a beautiful deep green map, and the blocks, of course, are orange for the parliamentarians and blue for the royals. Anyway, This War Without an Enemy from Nuts, another game I'm totally keeping. This has been a good Shelfie. Every game so far has been a keeper, with maybe the exception of Hell's Highway. I might sell that on when the new one comes out. Okay, here's the last one. A lot of people know this one. This is Normandy 44 from GMT. This is part of Mark Simonich's Zokbon series, for lack of another word. This one, unlike, most of these I've played already. This one I haven't. I've only played a couple of the Mark Simonich Zokbon games so far, and this isn't one of them. I don't know why I haven't got to this one. It's not overly huge. The games of his that I have played, I've totally enjoyed, and I expect to enjoy this one. So I have no excuse other than it just hasn't got to the table yet, and I don't even know if it's going to be the next one to get to the table. I really want to do the Italian one next, and I've already done the Market Garden one, but I'd like to play that again. So I guess we'd have to say that in terms of these Zokbon games, it's not that I don't like them. It's just that they invite replayings, and so it's hard to get through them all. He's another designer where he's got a deep library of these games. Plus, I like his other games. The U.S. Civil War is one of my all-time favorite games. So, anyway, that's the last one. Normandy 44 from Mark Simonich, and that's been another Shelfie session. I think it's Shelfie number 5, but this might be posted as Shelfie number 4. I really can't remember, to tell you the truth, how many of these I've done yet. Whatever the case, I'll get it straightened out when I label it. Thanks for watching. Please do come by and check out the website at pushingcardboard.com. There's tons more content there, and including the podcast is available there, as well as on Apple Music, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks again.